Well, he probably knew Margaret's family, but he didn't know my family, or at least my branch of the family. Margaret died in the early 2000s, and then Mildred, his last daughter, died in 2010. Both daughters were involved in the company. Their families are no longer involved in the company as far as I'm aware now. I believe they have all moved on to new adventures. But a lot of businesses spun off of Kentucky Fried Chicken through the daughters as well. That's a video for another time. But I want to make it clear. The daughters did not own Kentucky Fried Chicken after Uncle Harley died. Now, they may have had some kind of sway in what corporate did by just saying things to them, but I don't believe they had any corporate level orders that they could give. Margaret was a franchisee down in Florida, and I believe her franchises went to JRN. I'm not entirely sure, but I know the family of JRN was very close to Margaret. Mildred's husband owned a sign company, which is still in business today. She was in charge of training new franchisees. I'm unsure if she actually franchised herself. I'd love to learn more from her family if they're willing to talk again. But this is a photo I have of her with her father during a conference, committee, whatever you want to call it. All the big franchisees were there. Mildred was a lovely soul. I didn't get to meet Margaret. I probably would have liked to have known her from the things I read about her after I started studying her, but Mildred, she was a lovely soul. She stayed in touch with us until she died. But when Uncle Harley sold out in 1964, before he sold out, his nephew Lee was the president of Kentucky Fried Chicken. When Lee left and Uncle Harley sold out, Brown Jr. became the president, and the Colonel's grandson became the vice president. And of course, Claudia died in the late 1990s. But none of the family had a stake in the company and the choices that they made, just their own franchises within reason. The company was taken over by typical corporate people when Brown and Massey purchased it. They were friends with Uncle Harley, but they did butt heads with the changes that they were making. Hulbline, after purchasing it in 1971, made the major changes that really upset the Colonel. Now, most of my family still blames Brown to this day for a lot of the changes in decline that Kentucky Fried Chicken has seen over the years. But really, it was Hulbline and R.J. Reynolds. PepsiCo purchased them and then spun off Yum Brand. Now, they're a typical corporation too, and we've seen their ups and downs. Now they're starting to go back up in quality. They got some new people in charge. But I don't believe my cousins were involved in the corporate world after Uncle Harley sold out. I could be wrong, and they could feel free to reach out and share their part of the story, because who better than the source themselves? But from everything that I've seen, the Colonel's grandson was the last corporate member by being the vice president of Kentucky Fried Chicken during Brown's reign.